Welcome back, Chiefs Kingdom. It is Thursday, so we should do something live and in person, and Dan's here to do it with us. How are you, bud?
Finally catching one of these. I'm good. It's been a long day, but gloomy here in Missouri, as most of you know. It's been raining all day, so yeah, it's fun, and I'm finally here to join one of these, so I'm actually happy to be here.
Well, good. I am too. I'm going to set this up. We're going to get rolling in just a second, folks. Welcome to RGR Football. Officially welcome all of you back in. This will be the first time Dan and I go through this together. We usually do them separately and compare. And I know a couple of you have some questions out there. I will try to answer them as we get going because I think we're going to get to some of those. But I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get right into it tonight because, I have a tendency to be long-winded. What do you
both of us do, and we're both going to be talking, so it's got to get rolling.
Nothing's going to slow this down, that's for sure. Okay, so we should get this up on the board here in a moment. There we go. You guys don't need to look at all of my bookmarks. I keep trying to, not make you have to look at those all the time, but hey, it is what it is. We're picking for the Chiefs. We're going to go in here. I think this time, actually, so we have a little bit more time to see how they come through. I'm going to just leave it on normal. I usually go fast, but this way will let us see the roll a little bit more so we can stop it if we feel there's something that we need to do. That's it. Do you think, Dan, that there's any pre-draft trades that are likely? Like, should we set this up differently than just starting at 31?
Pre-draft, no. I think everything from this point on is probably going to happen during the draft, and I expect the Falcons to move out of 4, though. So that's what I'm been hearing a lot of, and especially because they don't necessarily need a quarterback anyway, and they can just kind of go back and get an edge rusher, which they desperately need because they've had zero pass rush production for like the last 3 years or whatever it is. So they can move back and still get like Azeez Ojulari. So I'm not too worried about that assumption that they're going to trade out the pick.
Yeah. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. Jeremy, thank you. I'm glad that you noticed. We are doing a lot around here.
Trying to.
We're trying to make it efficient. Sometimes, especially when there's news, we'll make sure we keep those things going in the morning for you. And when there's not, we'll probably back off of that a little bit. So just keep your eyes open. Keep telling folks about it so they get the notifications. That's the easiest way. Want to answer Doug's question here a little bit first. Do you think that they stay at 63, Dan?
I think so. They haven't really moved out of the second spot at all. From my memory, they've still got most of their second-round picks. I think that if they're going to move up at all, it's going to be in the first round. But I don't know if you guys saw Peter Schrager's mock draft from the first round. But if the draft went that way, one, they would also have their pick of the litter of offensive tackle because only 3 tackles, I think, went in the first round in his draft.
All in the top 13.
Yeah, so there would be a ton of tackles they could pick at 31, but of course Terence Marshall would be there, pushing more tackles down the list to them in the second round. So that would be fun.
Yeah. Doug, I saw your other questions. We're going to get to those as well, but I don't want to get too bogged down with the questions right now because this is about going through the exercise, and we'll talk about Liam Eichenberg coming up. Folks, if you're new, make sure you like and sub and hit the bell notification now so you don't miss what comes next. And that will be a player crush tomorrow night from Danilo and then back into the normal swing of things. I'm doing some in the morning. We're doing these all night long. Q&A is on Monday night. This is the other live stream on Thursday night. And good Lord, if you like athleticism, check out the Athletic Matrix. It's at Rogue APC. I'll put a link to it and all that. And for you RGR fans, use Matrix RGR. It gets you a couple of bucks off of it. It's what I do every year, and it's how you can delineate athlete from athlete and how they move. We're still working on the draft guide. We'll have that for you as well, but check that out. And if you do happen to want to support the channel tonight, we very much appreciate it. We just appreciate you being here to watch. But Jake has already done this, so thank you, Jake. I'll get to you in a second. If you want to super chat us, please do. But no matter what the dollar amount is, make sure you ask for something, whether it's your selection in here or a question or something, because if you're going to help us, I want to make sure that we help you. So that said, we will get to Jake because he has super chatted us. Thank you as always, Jake. Like the video this morning, Dan.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. I tell you what, about a month and a half ago, I was like dead set against moving up in this draft. But the more that I watch, I think that there's going to be some guys that they have locked on and will be comfortable moving up with. So, got to be adaptable as the season goes along. And I'm trying to do that as well as keep my own personal opinions to you guys as well as myself. So I appreciate that.
And it's good to be locked on, and I suggest everyone get locked on Chiefs. You can check that out. There's a link in the notes as well.
Nice way there.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, if you're going to set it up for me, I'm going to hit it out of the park. But yeah, it's about adaptation, right? Because I'm kind of coming around to the same thing. Like, as much as I generally don't want to do a move up, there are serious questions, and Eichenberg's one of them. And Doug's question was about his arm length, which is something that we've talked about. Yes, you can make up for it with hand fighting, having clean feet, not necessarily faster feet, but clean feet. And that all goes into the equation. But for teams who maybe have thresholds or maybe don't want to take the risk, it becomes, well, if there's all these guys that are good players, but we don't think they're worth a first-round pick, but X guy is, maybe it is worth going up. If they only have a couple of grades, this might be a season where the team grades actually look like my board, where I usually only give out 18 to 22 first-round grades.
Definitely possible.
It makes it really tough. Oh, Doug is happy to see you. Jake, thank you for the super chat. We'll see if your dare actually works out. I'm going to try. Dan's going to be the voice of reason this time, but I'm going to try.
We'll see about that.
Oh, there it is. Aaron put it up there. Rogue APC, folks. Thank you very much. And our mod is in the house, of course. Aaron Morrow is here. Jeff, I think, was in here before, too. And Jeff is working on the stats, has been churning out the work to help us get the guide ready. It's going to be great. This is, Kyle, a very athletic – oh, wrong one. Kyle, this is a very athletic group. I wouldn't say it's the most yet. I'd have to go back and do comparison and that kind of thing. I couldn't do it off the top of my head. But Dan Thompson wants to know what your favorite beer is, Dan.
I am definitely a sour beer person. That's just kind of my thing I found. The Boulevard has a Pinot, or I forget what it's called. It's almost like a Pinot Noir kind of. Right. It's definitely got Noir in it, right? Yeah, like it does. It's something like that. But that's been my favorite of late. But right here, this is like the Space Camper, Giga Hop. Ryan has put it up here. Like, this is some real good stuff. Yeah. And I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's I'm open to trying literally any kind of beer except for like super, super dark beer. I'm not a huge fan.
And that's all right. And you'll like Meldon too. They make a lot of good IPA. Okay. Daryl, one more. Thank you for this one, Daryl. Appreciate the super chat. And Fantasy Bros casters.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. Very nice to see you. But Daryl, yes, we will be live. I will be live during the draft, and Dan will be available whenever he's available. I promise you guys we'll do it like we did last year. Only this time I'll be way better at actually talking through it. Well, and it's been a more of a progression for us this year. So what you're going to see tonight in this mock draft is more concerted effort to be prepared in a number of different ways. Definitely this COVID thing has thrown my whole process out the window. So we're kind of making it up as we go along. But given the way that this board looks, I think we should just get going.
Yeah.
Rather than seeking a trade right now. And we're going to let it go and see if anything weird comes up. Day-Day's here. Nice to see you. I am just going to keep saying Day-Day so I can at least get part of it right. Who could you see drop to us? That is a great question that I don't have an answer for. There are a number of guys that have little hiccups in their evaluation, but it depends on the teams. I think arm length might be something, but then I hear from people, not just in the media, but other people as well, who say the teams of all years aren't going to be worried about it as much this year because they don't feel they can get consistent measurements because all these pro days and not a centralized combine. That
does make some sense, especially because the 40 times have been all over the place. It's ridiculous numbers.
I cringed when I put out the Matrix this year because it's like I have to go off of data that I can't really verify.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be interesting.
Now, here's the first offer. Are you interested in going up to 21? Let's take a. We can't.
That's the only problem with this whole system is I want to see who's on the board
Right.
with these offers, and unless like Tevin Jenkins is there, I mean, looking at a 3rd round pick, one next year.
Oh, good Lord. Let me just keep. Well, we lost out on that pick because of the pause, but yeah, Tevin Jenkins has been selected.
Yeah, see that's like my whole thing is moving up. I think that this is the spot where Jenkins is going to end up going. I know there's probably no one outside of Darrisaw if he were to fall a little bit further. Jenkins, Bateman, and Marshall had just went too. So that there's Newsome's gone. So right there is my sweet spot of guys that I think that they could trade up for.
Yeah, Day like I think they could go up for Jenkins. I think they could go up. I actually think Elijah Vera Tucker will fall farther than this, and they might take a chance on him because he can always go into guard. Is my thought. Like I think he's actually better at guard.
He is, but he's even got shorter arms than 33. He's got like 32.5-inch arms.
Yeah,
that's like almost you have to play guard. That's like almost you have to.
But that's who we're thinking could possibly drop there, Day. Jake, let me get yours too. Let me throw this out there. Would you guys consider for the next 2 weeks doing a mock for the other AFC West teams?
Interesting.
Yeah, we could.
How about this? How about for my next video on Wednesday, what I'll do is I will do one for the Raiders. Then I'll have one for maybe the Broncos and the Chargers just to kind of get our feet wet and see what we could be dealing with because they're all going to be picking before us in the first round specifically. So that is definitely something I can help you guys if you want to see a wider array of teams in the AFC West, what we're going to end up looking to stack up against.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's interesting. Thank you for that, Jake. And that is a good idea. Curtis asked a good question about moving a right tackle to a left tackle. Isn't that difficult and a recipe for disaster? But I'll let you answer that here in a second. As I just want to point out, right now we're at 22. It's paused. I'm going to start it up here again when Dan answers this. But 3 edge rushers still on the board that I think are first rounders in Phillips, Ojulari, and Pay.
Yep.
We're getting to the point where that could fall to the Chiefs, especially now that Marshall's gone. So go ahead. Give us your opinion on the right tackle to left tackle thing.
So typically with a guy like Eichenberg that are guys that are less athletic, it's a little bit more difficult because you have to not only get the footwork down, but be comfortable going from, you're dropping with your right onto your right foot to dropping onto your left foot and going back that way. So with how athletic this tackle class is, and I don't know if you guys saw, but Mitch Schwartz also does not believe it's as big a deal anymore in today's game because the athletes at defensive end are not the caliber on the left as they were only on the left. It's both right and left that you have these caliber of athletes. So you get used to playing against guys that are faster, that can transfer speed to power and do all that. So for me, I'm not as worried about taking a right tackle like a guy like Jenkins or a guy like Spencer Brown and moving him from right to left, but just giving him time to work through the process. Like that doesn't bother me. And I would be comfortable doing that.
I like that concept. We got an offer here from the Jets to move back to 34. So out of the first round, they'll throw us an extra 6th. I'm going to entertain that for a second because when I look at this, what we saw was after I said that, of course, all 3 of those edges went. Cosme went. Barmore eventually went. And even Caleb Farley went in the first round, which I think there are teams that are taking him at least down into the second. So I don't think Jason Oweh is a first rounder. I got to tell you guys that too.
I don't think so either.
I think that's a stretch. So what we see here is like it is back to the guy that we were talking about earlier who does have an arm issue. What was it? 32 and 5/8 for Eichenberg.
He's got over 33. It's like just over 33. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was reported under that, but I'm gonna have to go back.
If it was reported, then I didn't see it.
Okay. Because that would be another thing that is a little bit concerning about him. He's not the most athletic guy. But I do feel like he moves his feet fine. He just doesn't pick them up very much.
No, he doesn't need to.
He doesn't have that classic kick like Tevin Jenkins does. He is more of a shuffler, it looks like to me in the film.
Oh, no, you're right. 32 and 3/8 inch.
3/8. Okay, that's even less than I thought it was.
That's not good, guys.
No. Okay, let's hit a couple of these because Mark just super chatted us as well.
All right, let's go.
Daryl, I think Jalen Mayfield is a second rounder. I think Dan agrees.
I also think he's a guard.
Yep, absolutely. I'm glad, Doug. I appreciate that. Mark, thank you for the super chat. Do you know if the Chiefs reached out to Tyrann Mathieu to extend him? Also, thoughts on Jamar Johnson, safety, Indiana. I haven't watched Johnson. Have you, Dan?
I have not gotten a chance to get to the safeties to cross-check them.
He's on, like, I've done like almost 20 safeties. He's on my, hey, if you get time, go back and watch this guy again.
Yeah, there's quite a list there for me too.
Which tells me he's a day 3 guy that maybe has some upside, but I will have to try to find time to get him, and I couldn't prioritize that. Had a glitch with some of my notes on the edge rushers, and I still have to cross-check tackles. So this is a thing that, if you guys don't know, like, this goes all the way up to the end. I mean, the pros will tell you that too. Zerline and Brugler and Jeremiah, they're all still checking film too. So it is an ongoing thing. But yes, I do know, I have heard through several different sources that they have been discussing an extension for Matthew. I can't tell you how recent it was. I don't have that kind of detail, but yeah, it's on the table. I think they do want to get it done. Thank you for the super chat, Mark. Don't like the edge rushers. Okay, that's cool. All right. Oh, thank you, Avery. Avery's on top of it, man. Okay, so he's got 32 and 3/8. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, that becomes a problem because he's right now the last guy that's on the board that I think is honestly not an overreach at 31.
Yeah.
You disagree? Or
no, this is not a great board for the Chiefs at 31. It's actually one of the worst boards that I've seen doing my mock drafts. It's an unfortunate spot, but we already did decline the trade, or we're going to try to trade out of this pick because
I think we should. Yeah. I mean, and here's the reason I say that is because Stokes, Damon Davis, who is a second rounder in my book, he shouldn't be up this high. I like the kid a lot, but I don't know that I have him there. But Stokes and Xavin are both here. Eichenberg is here. Like, there are options. If you move back a couple of picks, it isn't going to demolish anything. And so if we go from 31 to 34 and pick up another pick, that'll let us do something else possibly in trading around as well. I'm going to try to squeeze them for the other 6 that they have, the 186. But I'll see if they'll do it, and hopefully they will. I'm guessing it's going to be okay. Yeah, I might have been able to squeeze something else out of them.
Yeah, that was a pretty high acceptance transaction. Yeah. You probably could have gotten maybe both, or maybe a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know, it is what it is. We're gonna do another one here in a bit, folks. Moving back to 51 to 39 or to 46. The only one I would consider is 39.
Or you get just another 6th?
Yeah. I mean, we could squeeze them too, but I doubt
we could try to squeeze them if you wanted to, but I'm not that interested in moving back 5 just to get another 6th-round pick.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I would want to be up here in this 4th-round range.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. But you're not going to get that out of them, which whatever.
And that's okay. So we'll do where we are, because what we did see happen is Mills went in our previous selection because they wanted that quarterback in the 1st round. Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere else this week that I'm not going to discuss either.
Did they not take Wilson with the 2nd pick? What's going on?
That's the funny thing. They did.
What?
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do another one of these tonight, folks.
We're just going to ignore that just happened, by the way.
So now we're in a dilemma. We've moved back 4 spots. We're in a good place, and we have, I think, more value in what we wanted before. Yeah. So the question becomes, Stokes is a good corner. I don't think I'm going to have a 1st-round grade on him. So, like, this is starting the region for him for me. Xavin Collins is right on that border as well for me. I could take either of them or Eichenberg. I don't think it's time for Radens, who's out here. I'm still concerned about the injury to Dickerson, but Creed Humphrey's on the table as well here.
Yeah. It's still an interesting board. It's almost exactly what we were just looking at. I think that picking a guy who's probably going to be able to come in and I think actually produce in his 1st season in Xavin Collins makes sense to me. Obviously, you're not at 31, but 31 to 34, you're essentially picking 2nd-round picks at that point anyway. From what my own personal opinion. And I think Xavin Collins is a back end of the first, early second guy. And I think he can come in and actually produce in his first season.
Yeah, I think he can too. The problem is so can Eichenberg. I think I would take Stokes out of the mix here.
Yeah, I don't want Stokes at this range. I think he's a little bit later. If he was there at 63, yeah, pull the trigger. But I guess it really depends on what you want. You want tackle or do you want linebacker?
Well, the question is are we going to see the run? Are there going to be any of the second level tackles that you like?
Yeah.
Are you willing to gamble?
I personally do, because I know that I can get Stone Forsythe in the third round. And then you also got to figure another trade backs and trade ups and things like that too. So,
well, let me try and handle that right now. Let's give up both of our 6th and 63 to try to go up to 45. Nope, not going to get it done. How about a 5th and a 6th? It's a maybe. Is 3 late day 3 picks worth it?
I would say yes, because I'm not hugely big fans of 6th and 5th round picks. Typically, they're not going to do much outside of being special teamers. If you can get yourself an actual starter, which you might be able to do, I'd be in for it.
Okay, let's see if we can even recoup one. No, we're not going to recoup one.
No,
maybe we'll get a 7th back for another trade.
That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll do that. A couple of questions, and guys, this isn't a questions video because it's so much, especially with both of us, we have to talk it out back and forth. Okay, so now we've improved our position for the 2nd pick. Now we can do whatever we want. So flip a coin. Who do you want, Xavin or Eichenberg?
Give me Xavin.
Okay. And we are off and running. We're going to see what falls here next. A couple of questions you guys had in the chat while we're doing this. Let's see. Kevin, what did you have? Not necessarily the draft. Do you think CH Chiefs is back in the future? I have no way to tell. I think he will be, but I can't tell you for certain. Ryan White, I am kind of for hoarding picks. I in this one in particular, unless there's a reason to go up, I'd rather have a few more selections to kind of do the shotgun effect and take more chances. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, that's for the back end part. Hoarding picks for me isn't that big of a deal. But if we're talking about hoarding picks into the 4th round, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like trying to trade back, get some extra top 100 picks. I'm fine with hoarding those picks. But late day 3 guys, I'm not so wanting to hold on to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs asked about D-Rob. I just covered it on the podcast earlier. We're probably not going to get into that unless we have to directly compare to one of these receivers that I'm sure we'll be picking up here very soon.
Very soon.
I would be tempted by this, just so you guys know, moving back from 45 to 60, still in the 2nd round at that point, and picking up a 3rd. That's some value that I would consider.
It's not top 100, but it's like right in the fringe. That is very interesting, actually.
Yeah, like I'm not going to do it this time, but I would be tempted.
Yeah, I would. I'd pull the trigger myself if this was me. But you don't have to. We can just keep going.
Okay, I'm going to decline them. The other one I don't think was even really viable. It was an
My daughter said hi, everybody. So just so you know.
Okay, so we are back on the board. Running backs are not there for me.
Well, yeah, I don't want running back here.
Creed Humphrey is on the board at 45 here, gentlemen.
That's not even like a question, in my opinion.
I see. That's how I'm leaning as well. But just to round it out,
yeah.
So is Alex Leatherwood, who can step in and play the tackle spot. Yep. Mayfield's down there. We both feel he's going to guard. Sante Samuel Jr. still here. Yeah, that is as well. Like I have a 2nd round grade on him, so that doesn't surprise me that much. Melifonwu's in a spot that is right along where I have him too. I know you disagree, folks. We'll talk about that next week. Let's see. Elijah Molden is still one of my favorites. He's totally
got some serious mental acuity. He just knows what's going to happen before it happens. You can see it on tape.
He's incredible. He didn't run his agilities though, and he came in as a nickel corner at 4.54.
You want to know why he didn't run his agility ones? Because he knows it'll not improve his draft stock.
Right. He's totally against it, but I love his play.
Yeah.
That is incredible. The other thing to remember, we have 63 as well. Or did we trade out of 63? We traded out of 63. So we moved up here. So that means likely
That's right.
anything like Jabril Cox is likely to be gone. Diamond Brown likely to be gone. So we need to make this one count, or we need to move back again maybe and try to pick up something else. What's your thought?
Well, let's just talk it out real quick. I do think that you're still going to have some tackle there in the third round. I know people are worried about tackle, but let's just look at it realistically. Alex Leatherwood still is a potential good move inside guy. I think that you let him play tackle and see what happens. I know he's been training. He's got the arm length, the athleticism necessary to do it. So I'm not against taking him at 45. I think this is the perfect spot to take Alex Leatherwood at this point. Okay. So for me, it's between him or Humphrey. And it really depends on what replacement level we're talking about. Humphrey's going to be your starting center. He will be your starting center day one. So
I would agree. And so for me, it comes down to you have to protect Patrick.
Yep.
Is Leatherwood versus one of the more agile but not as long or not as experienced tackles that you can get later? Is that going to do just as much work because we weren't able to pick up a primetime tackle for Patrick? So I'm gonna go with you, and we're gonna go Leatherwood here, folks. You guys raise hell in the chat if you hate that. We'll switch it around next time because every one of these is a different scenario. None of them is the truth, by the way.
No. I don't think there's ever going to be one where you get it down right. Like it's just not going to happen.
Reality will fall somewhere in between all of them. So. Let's see any questions in here. Oh, thank you, Doug. It's nice of you to remind me this. You guys are great about this. When I'm not the one that has to remind everybody to do the stuff that helps the channel, I appreciate that. It slips my mind sometimes. Okay, so Spicy wanted Creed. We're all with you. Yep, and Julian as well. Who is your DK Metcalf? Any position this year?
Oh, just the guy who's going to drop much further than he should? Ooh, that's an interesting question, actually. We'll see if that's all in hindsight, too. So it's hard to...
I'm not sure if Whiskey was going that direction, but okay, I like the way you took that.
I don't know what he could have been doing. I don't know.
I think he meant the athletic freak that is more projection than anything.
How is he projection than anything? Because he came into the league and he's been great, but he clearly slid further than he should have.
Well, but at the time he ran like 2 routes. So, yeah, it was a projection. I think that's what he's asking. I think it's the running back, to tell you the truth. The guy that has all the athleticism that you gotta kind of mold a little bit, I think. Thank you. Man, Aaron, you're on top of it. Our director of public relations, Aaron Morrow. Okay, so we are back. We're on their normal pick at 94. We've gotten a couple of things done, including the tackle and the linebacker situation. Now gets pretty interesting because Trey Smith's in here. If you really want to bulk up that offensive line, Ben Cleveland's in here. We did the linebacker thing, and now you're seeing like the second-tier quarterback. I'm a little surprised that Kyle Trask is still here. I think somebody's going to take him in the second still. I know he's falling, but what do you got?
I don't know. No, my wife just sneezed. That's all.
Oh, okay. And here's Dan's guy, Forsyth, right here with Hudson.
It could have been Creed and then wait for Forsyth or Hudson, which you never really know. But I think that Forsyth is probably going to go a little higher than this, in my own opinion. But
okay. And that's fair. I have not watched him, so I will leave it up to you on that one. I will tell you guys this. I like Trey Sermon's game, but I'm not selecting a running back in the third round, especially after last year.
So that would be interesting.
Yeah. There's just not enough carries to make it worth it, in my opinion. They got stuff to do. So we've done linebacker and OT, two of the biggest needs, right? So now we come back. Are we filling in? Are we trying to bolster a strength? Or are we trying to go outside and take care of something? Because I have to say, the defensive line looks pretty solid, but I like Tyler Shelvin's game.
Oh, he's a guy that I got to tell you guys, he's so much fun to watch. And the athleticism that he plays with the weight that he plays at is incredible. Like, he would be a lot of fun to try to get him to lose a couple pounds and let him loose, because I think he could actually be a really productive pass rusher at the next level.
I think so as well. I'd be really keen to see it too. I do want to go back one second.
Maybe corners. Benjamin St. Juste is out there, or
yep, long tall corner. Always like to see those.
At 94, I think that's pretty good value.
I would agree. Let me
Darius
see.
Washington is a good player.
Okay, that's what it is. It's Kede Nwangu.
Oh, Nwangu. Okay.
Nwangu is the name of the running back that I couldn't remember a minute ago. I wanted to make sure that I got that in for Whiskey Bravo. Thank you. And then loved your top 10 video, Dan. Well done. Any chance for a wide receiver that fits the X? There's a number of them. Okay.
Yeah. I did do the top 10 of my own wide receiver board a little while ago. But the problem with a true X position is I don't really know 100% what the Chiefs want in an X.
Mm-hmm.
They can use a boatload of different types of players in an X position. As long as you can get off press, you can play the X position, in my opinion. So that really, it opens up a can of worms with who can play the X position in this offense, because you also not only have to play X, but you have to play slot, you have to play reduced split, you have to play all over the field in terms of where you play with your wide receiver. So determining what exactly they want in an X receiver is a little difficult.
I get that. And they're a little atypical because I still think they want their X's to be top end speed. So like just like Sammy. So it makes perfect sense. And thanks for the thing on Jamar there, Mark. I'll make sure to check the Ohio State game. Okay, so you were talking about St. Juice, who I think is long, tall. He's got a lot of tools. I don't know if I'm ready for it here at 94, so I'd probably hold off on that. But I have an idea, and I want to run it past you. Imagine I'm some area scout that's telling you, hey, we've had issues. Let's go build depth there. Let's go take either Hudson or Forsyth now.
Let's do another
one.
Let's do it. I'm taking Stone, to be honest with you, because one, you can also move Leatherwood inside and be a guard. So that could also solidify the left side of your offensive line for the foreseeable future. You can get Stone Forsyth as your left tackle and Alex Leatherwood as your left guard for the future. That'd be boom, locked in, send it.
Okay, done.
I like it.
And that's the kind of thing that comes up, folks. If you don't see what you want at the top of that draft and you're on the clock, make a strength of strength. It's an easy way to make sure that you don't get caught overestimating something in one player and coming up short somewhere else. So I know you guys wanted Cisco and stuff. We're going to see what comes up next. Let's see. Do you want to give up 2/4 to go up 20 slots?
No.
I don't really want to either.
I like my 2/4.
Yeah, I do too. Especially when we take a look. Shelvin's still out there.
Yeah.
We got to wait till the Chiefs select. But hey, I'm just saying.
He's so much fun, man.
There he went.
He's one of the few actual dominant run-stopping defensive tackles, too. Like, he is dominant, and it's not close either. He's so good. This is probably going to be a sweet spot for wide receiver.
Yeah, I actually think a little bit later will be as well, because we go another 8 picks as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Because I'm looking at, okay, we want to come up in the world a little bit and get a little bit more pressure, right? Now, we added Xavin, but he'll blitz some, but he's also going to play in coverage, so you're not getting more pressure with him. Patrick Jones is an edge. You have both the Notre Dame edges here. You guys know how I feel about Dalen Hayes.
Is a better prospect than both of the guys listed above him.
I'm glad you agree.
Patrick Jones and Rashad Weaver are the same player, so I don't.
I don't see much delineation between them.
There's not much difference there.
And what I don't see is, I do like Robert Rochelle. He's super athletic. He's raw. He reminds me a little bit of Legarius.
Yeah.
Like,
that'd be nice.
I do like his game. I mean, but that said, that is the built-in, caveat that he would have to progress. So
exactly.
There is that.
At this point, you're almost counting on that, though, for all these players. They have to progress a bit.
Right, at this point. I am tempted to go Dalen. I always go him in this position when he's available. So do you have a problem with that?
I don't. I do see David Moore there, which is very intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know what they want to do with the center position. At this point, they've already passed on the two guys that would immediately impact and improve their center positions. So
I got another one that's probably likely farther down than kid from Stanford. Drew Dahlman.
Okay. I've seen quite a bit about him from Brandon Thorne on Twitter. So
and Brandon's. If you guys don't follow Brandon Thorne, go follow him. We'll try to get him on here with us some point. But
especially if you like offensive line play.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's all about. So, I like your point, Julian.
I think Hayes is a good pick here.
All right, we'll get Hayes because otherwise I'm going to take us down the rabbit hole and we're not going to get to the second one. So we're going to go with that.
Start going a little bit faster.
Yeah, I need to. Let's see.
You take Rochelle here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Aaron, the code is Matrix RGR for you guys if you want to go grab the Matrix here at Rogue APC. And that will get you a few bucks off. I think it's like 22% is what I did. So, Doug, thank you. Appreciate that. Smashing those rumors is always fun too. I get a little carried away with it sometimes, but it's still fun. So, okay. Julian's in on Rochelle too. I don't see. I mean, I do like Wiggins' game as well.
I do too. I think he would play in this defense very well as a third safety.
But I do think that the upside of Rochelle has more opportunity to actually get on the field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, take some of those athletes sometime, hope they pan out.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this is why we moved back, folks, and we picked up extra picks so that you can do some of these chance-taking things and try to cover with multiple selections your weaknesses in order to make sure that you get them covered.
Did we, though? We moved back up.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Don't start.
That's okay.
Caden Sturds went. I was keeping my eye on Caden Sturds.
I know you were.
Let's see who else. Joshua Bledsoe. I've not been able to see much film on him, and I want times on him. I want to like him. I know all you Mizzou fans want me to like him. I'm going to try to. It's a philosophy thing.
Oh.
What do you got? What do you got?
Man, I'm very tempted to take Cornell Powell out of Clemson here.
Are you really?
I really am. I'm actually probably higher than a lot of people than they are on him. I know he's a late candidate. You know, he was a senior, didn't play much at all until this last year. But I watch his film and I see the nuance in the routes. I see the actual top end speed that he has, the physicality he can play with. I really like him, and I do think that this is good. It's the fifth round, and this is really where he's probably going to go. I know that a lot of people are up on Josh. I can't say his last name, so I apologize to everyone.
Word baby.
Yeah, that one.
I think that's what it is anyway.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. And he's an athletic freak too, so I wouldn't be mad at either of them at wide receiver. But I think we're going to start chipping away here at wide receiver, and this is a sweet spot for some of these more athletic guys.
Yeah, I'm with you on where you're at. I don't have Powell as high. Like this would be a reach for me. I would wait around, especially because I like Shaka Toney, and I think he can grow into an edge.
He's got T-Rex arms.
He does have short arms, but I think if you can get him hand fighting better, I think he can be more productive than Owe was, at least this last season.
We took Hayes last round.
Oh, did we? See, I should probably review what we did. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll shut up. The other guy I like is Divine Diablo.
He's underrated. He's so underrated.
Yeah, I think I like his game, but I'll let you pick between those guys.
Just take the guy with more upside and Josh.
Josh?
My baby.
Okay. You're my baby. That's the wife's gonna be like, "Who are you talking to?"
That's exactly what's going on right
now. Let's see. Bobby Brown's on there. Jalen Darden's on there. I'm not a fan of Surratt.
I think he's a slower DeMarcus Robinson.
Okay.
I'm not a fan at all. He can run block, and that's pretty much it, and go get a ball or two.
I could have swore we had another pick. Maybe I'm incorrect.
We traded away both of our 6th round picks.
Oh, is that what we did? Okay, so we're done. That's great. I love it. Yay.
Yeah, round it out with an athletic big man and a wide receiver.
Hey.
I like it.
Okay, so we ended up with another receiver to the mix, another corner to try and develop along with Bo Pete, a guy that is not specifically a pass rush specialist in Dalen Hayes, but can certainly do it all. Honestly, his game reminds me a little bit of Mike Danis. I think he can play with some power. I don't think he's a designated pass rush guy. Certainly sealed off the OT bleeding. And Xavin up top, huh? Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is one of the worst boards that I've ever seen when I'm doing my mock drafts.
Yeah, this has been
an interesting one.
But hey, this is why we do this. This is the exercise, folks.
I do think it helps with their linebacker. They're going to have two guys that can cover and you can play them nickel downs for the foreseeable future. I think that helps a lot. Obviously, tackle, possibly guard. So yeah, it's nice.
We do have that 1/7 I got back. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We did. We said give us our 7th round pick.
Oh, and then it went and just picked for us anyway. What in the world? All right, I guess there was a tight end.
Why did it just pick for us?
I have absolutely no idea.
This is ridiculous.
Well, that was entertaining. Not my favorite mock by a very long shot. So we are not saving that. We are not doing anything. We're starting over, everyone. Let's see. Thank you for that, Doug. Yeah, if you guys would hit the like, that always helps more people find us, and I produce that. Imat or Bebe. Thank you, laddie.
Imat or Bebe. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm trying not to say I'm not your baby. Yeah, that's seriously going to get me in trouble. All right. For the sake of just going, let's get it started, and we'll see what comes our way in offers.
Yeah. Maybe stick with most of our picks this time around.
Danilo's mad we passed on Creed Humphrey.
I don't know if he's mad. I think he's more surprised because we love Creed so much.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Ooh, this is interesting. Oh, no, they want a third throw.
They want us to move up.
Yeah, I'm not moving up. I'm not giving you a third to move up.
Oof.
I don't want to. Should we look at the board?
2 top 100 picks? No, thanks.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought as well. Especially when we look at the way that this has fallen to them. Tevin Jenkins went 19 this time.
I think he's going to go. I personally think he's going to go 17 to the Raiders. That's where I think he's going to go.
Really?
They got rid of their offensive line. They need nasty offensive lineman guys to protect Derek Carr.
Maybe, yeah. The Carr guy.
Maybe they don't want to. Maybe that's what they did. They just decided to get rid of everybody and say, hey, go fend for your life.
Well, it's funny that they just offered us because Mark said, next draft, see if we can move up to 20. All right. Well, we'll see, Mark, because right now I'm like, I could see possibly drafting Elijah Vera-Tucker here, but I don't know if moving up to draft him.
Yeah, the board does not dictate to move up, in my opinion.
That's kind of my thought as well. Ojulari's still here.
This looks almost exactly like it did last time.
It did. In fact, I hate it. We're restarting.
This is not good. What did they do? Did they change the algorithm?
I think they change it pretty consistently, and I don't know how that works. If Joe or Kyle, if you guys are on, let us know, please.
We won't restart this one. We'll just go through this one, though.
I'm making no promises. Sorry, Mark. We'll see if we can still get an offer at 20. I mean, you gotta understand when you have personal relationships with the coach or the GM, you have some options. There, we got another offer. I think it's the same offer, actually.
It looks like the exact same offer.
94, and they want a 5th as well.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is rich. I'll see what I can do for you, Mark. Because I mean, I'd give you a 4th, but they won't take it.
Yeah, I can't really justify giving up 200 top 100 picks to move up to 20 for someone we probably don't want.
Yeah.
I apologize, Mark.
In this scenario, Mark, that isn't going to work. But I do like the way you're thinking because I think that is a trade partner that they could have out there.
And also, it's really a sweet spot because you're probably going to get an immediate impact guy at 20. I believe that's definitely a possibility. Yeah. Not the way this board played out, though.
It's difficult right here. So we'll let that roll because we're not on the board. 11 picks. Oh, the Colts want to see, and this is the other one I was saying. When you have a personal relationship, obviously, with Chris Ballard in Indianapolis, that is a possibility.
Ooh.
They want the second and next year's first.
Next year.
That's cute. Good Lord. Sure. I'll flip you first next year. How you like them apples? No. Yeah. Chris isn't doing that. He's crazy. He's not that crazy.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's out there. Okay, so we're going to let them run, and we're going to make this selection, I pretty much feel. So we're going to decline that. Okay, Newsom goes. Farley goes again.
Oof, Pay goes. Oh, my.
We do have a Bengals offer to move back to 38, but it's only for a 5th.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the ones that I get where I usually accept them because they the Cowboys have typically wanted to give up at least a mid 40th and then another top 100 pick. And I usually do it. So if you're good moving back, I'm good moving back.
Let's take a look at who's there first.
Okay.
So Tony went just before the Chiefs are picking.
That's
Kwity
fine.
Paye went and Ojulari went, who I think I probably will end up with him at slightly
Fringe
above.
first.
Yeah. He may be edge one for me.
Ooh.
Those two are the guys that I'm battling with right now. Jason Oweh will not be then. Cosme's on the board here, though. As is Eichenberg, as is Xavin Collins again.
Yeah, I would take Cosme over all of them.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah.
So you agree with this ranking? I like.
This is where I think he's going to end up going. Like I'm a little bit, less in terms of what the Chiefs need. Like this is my own personal ranking because I have Eichenberg rated over Cosme, but I think the Chiefs prefer length at their tackle spot. So I don't think Eichenberg is on their board actually.
Yeah, that may
my own personal opinion on what they do. So if it were me, I would take Eichenberg over Cosme, but for the sake of the Chiefs argument, I think that Cosme fits their tackle profile better.
Well, it's if you come back to the athleticism, he's a whole lot closer to what Eric Fisher is athletically than Eichenberg is. I mean, he is tackle one in the Matrix. Folks, if you haven't bought the Matrix yet, you can go check it out. Cosme's number one in the tackles. I'll just tell you that. And honestly, he's got a very, very good score. He and Rashawn Slater are two of the better tackle scores that I've ever had. So that is something to remember. So I'm just going to say, let's bite the bullet and do it. That trade is really tempting to go back to 45 and pick up another 100, but I think they got to get something done. We didn't do it last time, so let's do it this time.
Yep.
Okay. So job number one taken care of. That's a guy that you plug in. Yes, he'll have some warts or some hiccups, but he's got the athleticism to overcome it. And I think he will be a guy that can play for you for at least 2 contracts.
Yep.
We are back at 63. We're getting offers from the Eagles who want to come up for a 6th. I will counter offer them for a 3rd. Yeah, I don't want your 6th. I want that.
Good luck with that.
Hey, if some of these other offers are crazy, I'm going to make my own crazy counter offers too. Maybe we can do this. Okay. We'll go back to 70 if we can come up from 136 or from 94. Squeeze it a little bit. How would you feel about something like that, moving back from 63 to 70 and 84?
That would be a little interesting. I mean, if you can get it, I think that's a good one because it's kind of pick swapping a little bit, and you move to 7 and move up 10, which is fine. I would be comfortable if you actually get it done.
Let's see. I'll give it 3 calls. Bam. All right, folks. We're going to move back to 70. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised myself. Now the Jags want to get out of 65, and they only want a second next year. I know, right? I'm going to decline that, though. I don't want to get into next year's picks. So let's see what happened. They came up and they wanted Dwayne Eskridge. Amon-Ra St. Brown went right after him. And then Melifonwu here, who is closer to – he's the first in the 3rd, so he's right a lot closer to your evaluation. Dang, Jabril Cox went 2 picks before us.
Oh,
that's a regret on my part, folks.
That hurts a little bit.
Yeah, that one stings. What Julian say here?
What we got?
Cosme and Creed, O-line of the future. Yeah, that probably could have been
wrong. But Quinn Murray's is sitting on the board.
Yeah,
Miners. Sorry, Quinn Miners.
And we have another pick in 84 here in a minute. So
would you feel comfortable letting him go to 84, or would you rather pick him now?
That's the question. But I'm looking who's here, right?
Yeah.
I like Tommy Tremble. I'm not using 70 on him.
Nope.
I think Javon Holland is a little high here, but I do think that he has some game for the next level. Man, Osai, he's a question mark to me.
Yeah. It's hard to evaluate Osai. He's a guy that definitely plays like every snap. He's going to give you 100%. Like he's definitely a work ethic player.
Mm-hmm.
He's still raw. Like still working on some things. Rousseau is a hard evaluation too, because we didn't get to see 2020.
He's a tackle to me, though, at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think that's why he's falling.
That's interesting.
Speed off the edge, like he tested pretty good for a tackle, but poorly for an edge. And I think the volume that he went inside in college already, I think that's just kind of slanting people to that pick. Carlos Basham is an interesting one. I haven't been able to see much film on Wake. I do want to see more on him. And that brings us down. Jamar Johnson was somebody people were asking about. I have not watched him yet. I had him as a day 3 guy. They have him pretty high up here. I'm kind of surprised. Evidently, I may have missed something, so we'll have to go back there. By the way, Peyton Turner works out tomorrow. He's another edge. I really want to see how he tests because he has some flashes I like.
Oh, yeah.
That said, I think let's just bite the bullet. I am leaning right now towards taking Quinn.
Yep, me too.
Okay. At 70, I can stomach that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I can too. I think he's going to outproduce that production, to be honest, that draft capital too. I think he's that good.
Julian likes the Holland option. Okay, I'm with you there. Okay, we're at 84. We don't want to go back to 109. And I don't want to go back any farther, back to 93 for a 6th. No, thanks.
No.
104 plus a 5th. No, thanks. We'll just
I'm
decline.
good.
We out. Okay, anybody else? Leon, thanks for the super chat.
Thank you.
Have you seen Jacob Harris? Oh, yeah. And if you guys check out the Matrix, you'll find that I put him in both the wide receiver and the tight end rankings. And
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't, and I think you guys will like the way that it came out. I found it really intriguing. Yeah, Doug, I was looking at him. He's still on the board. As is Josh Myers.
We just took a center.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I think Myers can go out to guard too.
He can, and he might be better at guard, but I think that you have an option with both. I think Myers is one-dimensional.
Okay, that's fair. Quincy Roche's an edge that's here. Peyton Turner, again, I think I really want to see him run. I wouldn't be comfortable putting him up here yet, but he may get there for me.
Robinson and Turner are both guys I would target here.
Yeah, you're comfortable with both of them? Okay.
I think Robinson's ceiling is higher than either of them. Okay. Not even close.
That's fair.
All about getting there.
Right. That is very true. All right. So I just want to verify what we have on the board. If we wanted to move back, I would go to the Jets. And so it's going to be about 50 picks till we're back on the clock. Yep. And that is a little bit concerning for me. So if I move back, what'll you give me? Can I get there from here?
Oh, that works.
Oh, should I be greedy?
Yeah.
I should be greedy? Okay. I want your 6th then too. Let's see if it works. I mean, other things are in here. Oh, my Lord.
There we go.
Now, folks, I actually don't think that will ever really happen. But
I don't either, because that's highway robbery in terms of moving up just to go back 2 spots there.
I am tickled pink. That is, I sound old. And they came up to get Josh Myers. That's why they targeted somebody.
That's fine by me.
And
we got our
went. And so now it comes down to developmental edge, developmental tight end, or Quincy Roche, who I don't think is quite as developmental.
Yeah,
I don't think as many tools either.
He doesn't. He seems pretty 1-2-dimensional type of edge rusher. He's there.
Get Guy later. We just got 107, so literally.
It could be. If he's there, I'd definitely entertain it.
All right. Folks, hit us with what you think.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Let's do some opinions here on this current draft board.
Doug's on Trammell. Daniil like the trade down. Aaron's on Tremble. I knew he was gonna be on Tremble.
He's a big Tommy Tremble guy.
Get Stone at 107. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
That's the idea, yeah.
Josh Kane, though, yeah, I don't think he's going to go till much later. I'm not too worried.
Debo is also underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a great short area quickness score.
Yes. And he's a ball hawk, I think.
Yeah.
Always around the ball.
He's one of the guys I wish Jeff was on tonight because he's got some numbers. But
yeah,
that's one of the production metrics that we're going to go over, folks. The hawk rate that I built is based on how many times you get your hands on the passes. That's what's important.
It's an incredible stat. Like, it's great.
dang. I am tempted now that he's there. I'm tempted to do that, but I think Tremble's
tempting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Tremble's probably their pick, though. What do you think?
It is, and I don't have an issue with that. I would, my own personal would be a Debo over Tremble.
Yeah, okay,
but that's me. So if they want Tremble, they can have Tremble. I get it.
All right, we're going for it.
Then too.
We'll see where did Debo go? No, he just.
Oh, there he goes to the Packers. Which
is right about where the Chiefs would be drafting if we hadn't traded out of it, too. Yeah. So that's something to keep an eye on. Cisco just went. He is a guy that late here in the third, I think you could get into him. And I really like Israel Mukumamu. I think he is right for a switch to safety. I actually see him as the reverse of L'Jarius Sneed, who played safety and had all the man skills that you needed. I see it the reverse. I think he could be really, really good. Anyway, for our purposes here, Trey Sermon, Trey Smith, I don't think either of them are going to be worth this right now.
No. I like Smith. I think he actually tested way better than I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
But some of the things that happen are just, he's on the ground way too much. Literally the most out of any offensive lineman that I watched. He's on the ground way more than everybody.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue.
That worries me.
Now, we've gone offense to this point. So I am tempted to kind of start flipping.
Yep. Typically what happens too.
Yeah, and Adebo went, so I think that's pretty. But where'd he go? Shelvin's here. That is making his strength stronger. I don't know if that's what we can get away with right now.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What's your take on Cam Sample? Have you watched him yet?
Cam Sample. No, I have not. I haven't seen any Tulane anywhere.
And I like Deo on film, but he hurt himself like in January. So that is a head scratcher for me. I like Jacoby Stevens' game as a strong safety, kind of replace Sorensen type.
Yeah, I get that.
All right, folks.
Not a great defensive board either.
No,
that they need, or I mean, Edge Jordan Smith out of UAB, I know is a good prospect, but.
Are you comfortable with him here, though?
I would, yeah. I think from what I've seen and read about him, I think he's got the tools. It's more just about the competition jump. That's some of the issue that worries me in terms of some of these prospects. You can have the tools. The competition level is a different jump from FCS to the NFL. Like I talked about it on my tackle video. Like we don't know some of these guys that come out of the FCS are going to be able to just make the transition to the NFL. It's different for everybody.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't think there's anybody much beyond that I'm like, I mean.
Well, let's see the corners. Can you pull up the corner page here real quick?
So Trey Brown.
Trey Brown's tiny.
Yeah. Like he's a nickel only. Yeah. But that's 30 picks away if the rankings hold up.
It's a little rich at corner for me right now because I like Marco Wilson. I like Amory Thomas. But that's too rich at 107.
Yeah, Wild Goose is down there even farther. Like, there's some other guys with upside that at those selection points I think are going to be fine.
And then Rochelle again is there too.
Yeah, we might have to target him soon though.
It would be the next pick.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm down with either Shelvin or Jordan. What do you think?
I think Jordan makes more sense to me, especially because they brought Reed in and I think that he's going to probably try to be multi-year. I think he's actually going to be a multi-year guy.
Okay, cool.
That's just me.
All right, we will go with that tonight. Let's see. Julian is talking about Njoko next year. I like that one.
Tremble. We don't need to.
Well, I know, but hey. We just took Tremble tonight. Who knows what I'll do tomorrow?
Tell you what, I had no idea.
The 6'4" corner. There's a couple of guys that are real close to that, but I think you're talking about the Fitu Melifanu, Obi's little brother. He went at the bottom of the second.
Going to be way better than his brother was.
I kind of think so too. I just hope he lands in the right system.
Yeah. Seeing as how his other brother isn't even in the league anymore.
He played for the Raiders, right?
He was drafted by the Raiders, I think. No, he was not drafted by the Raiders. I think he was drafted somewhere else, but he did sign with the Raiders, I think.
Okay, so here we are. We're at 144 in the fourth. And maybe it would have been better if I traded this one instead of 136. Might have changed things, but we're here where we are now. We have an edge. We have the offensive players. We'll still look at wide receiver for value later.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're looking at, once again, the edges from Notre Dame. Again, Patrick Jones, I think we both have too high here.
Yeah.
Rochelle, Wiggins. What else we got? Marco's down there as well.
Yeah. It's a nice spot for corner right here. And they don't pick again to 175.
Right.
So probably want to take your shot at a corner, I think.
I would like to myself. I have a little fits waiting this long. So so guys, tell us which corner you want to see, and Dan, tell me who you prefer here.
I mean, out of what I know about the corners here, if Rochelle is as athletic as you say he is, I would take him probably over everybody. I do know that Ambry Thomas has tools, but his time in Michigan really screwed him up because Don Brown's defense, they're much like the Chiefs with their corners. They play a lot of man in terms, they don't get their head around very often. They're like not taught to get their head around or whatever it is. So he's got tools, but he needs to be in the right system to really flourish. And so I didn't see his athletic testing, so I don't know about that, but it's a tough spot with some guys that just don't turn their head around, and it's a big problem.
It is. I'm going to unshare for a second and share something because I want to show you Rochelle, and I want everybody else to see the matrix here as a little gimme,
a little howdy doody.
Yeah, right. If I can pull it up, of course. Let's go right to it because I think I can just do that because you guys have to see the cornerback athletic ranks. And if I throw that over here, then I can share it. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so here's a glimpse at what you get in the matrix. And this is ranked by athleticism. This is the overall. This is the master index, right? And so Marco Wilson actually tested out the best of anyone, including Eric Stokes in his 4.24.
Yeah.
And the guy right underneath both of them, sandwiched between Stokes and J.C. Horn, who right now is my CB1. It's this close, though. Like, he and Surtain, like, every time I watch, they flip.
Give me Horn. Every time.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And so this is where Rochelle is. So if you're going to, in the bottom of the fourth round, rely on athleticism, he and Marco Wilson are the two guys to do it for. That's the whole reason I wanted to show
Marco Wilson then.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. He's got a little bit of temperamentalness to him, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not sure how happy you are with that.
I don't care so much, but I don't know with the Chiefs. Like, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me that much. I think that you can kind of help it out. Whoa.
Oh, that was trippy. I think I shared the wrong screen. Let's try that again.
That was impressive, actually.
Everything's a challenge here, buddy. This is what I'm trying to do. There we go. Okay, so it's A or B then. Rochelle or Marco?
I've taken Marco enough. Let's go ahead and give me Rochelle again. I think that's the better option here.
All right, we will do that. Bada boom. In the meantime, okay, so Tadilo made sure we were right. It was the Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay. Avery likes Rochelle as well, so we're all there. Sam White, thank you for the super chat. Pat had his say in the CEH pick last year. Who is Pat going to be asking for this go around?
Get one this year.
No, he's asking probably for Slater is what he's asking for. A guy that can probably start at tackle or guard.
Yeah.
He's asking for a little bit of help.
I don't think he's going to get one this year, though. I don't think. I think that as much as I like Clyde, unfortunately, it really looks like a wasted first-round pick in hindsight.
I mean, you guys, if you were on the live stream last year, you heard us talk about it then. Like, running back in the first round is never a good thing, in my opinion.
And that's coming from someone who had him as RB1. Like, he was my RB1. Like, and I love him. I just can't do it.
What do you? He was 3 for me, I think. But the fit is perfect, and that's why it happened. Okay, so Doug, thank you. I'm glad you got to see it. Sam, I literally just think he's asking for help, particularly at tackle, just to give him some time to do what he does.
Terence Marshall.
Dude, we talked about him last week, and then all of a sudden, you see all the talking heads nationally start picking him for the Chiefs. And I'm
saying
like,
for ever since my rankings came out, because he's my wide receiver 4. But you know what? No big deal.
Right? It's about time. I tell you what. Okay, so we're at 175. Again, developmental edges here. We did the wide receiver thing. So Marlon Williams starts to get on the board. Shai Smith, Josh. Let's not take Josh because we took him last time.
Yeah.
Have you watched Fehoko?
I have not, but I know that he's like real small. No, he's not. He's the athletic freak. Never mind. That's the different guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's smooth. And he showed up when I was watching Walker. So like he did step out to me a little bit, and I like that.
Yeah.
But you guys know how I feel about Uber speed demon Anthony Schwartz in this offense.
I just
they can find an X somewhere else. I just want him on the field.
I just can't do it, man.
When McCole comes off, I want him in that ball game. That's all I'm saying.
I can't bring myself to do it anymore. I got PTSD.
Yeah, okay. Well, we won't do that then. I'm not trying to trigger you. I think Derek Forrest is also a safety that is a little bit underrated.
I agree with that. Those safeties out of Cincinnati, man, they just play the game the way it's meant to be played.
Yeah, and it is important. Okay, so folks, let us know what you think. We're winding down to the end here. Avery says Ellerson. I don't mind that.
I would take him if we didn't take Jordan Smith at 107 because I'm a big Ellerson Smith fan. I love him.
Edges can't have enough.
Yeah, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't double up on edge in this draft class.
Okay, all right.
It's very good.
Marlon, I haven't watched specifically Sherwood, but he did make a couple of plays that stood out to me when I watched somebody else. I like Divine here too, though.
Divine, yeah. Remember we said he's underrated. There's quite a few underrated, at least in our opinions, guys down here. So maybe we get a safety to round out the safety group long term. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not a big fan of Tyree Gillespie.
No.
I know you guys are Mizzou fans. I just don't think that he's got the wheels to play at the next level. So Derek or Divine, what do you think?
I personally like the way Cincinnati players play defense. That's why I'm a huge fan of James Wiggins. I think that he's really good, especially for this defense. So I would take Forrest myself.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What do you guys got? Can we get a big wide receiver? Yeah, there's a couple still left, and Tamarian will be one of them.
Let me see how big he is.
Who are you looking for?
Simi Figo, whoever his last name is.
Fehoko?
Yeah.
I want to say 6'2".
Oh, he's 6. No, I don't believe that.
6'4". 6'4".
Yeah, we can take him right now.
27. You want to take him right now? I'm perfectly fine with that.
He's an athletic dude too. So yeah. I'm good with that.
If you guys remember what JJ Arcega-Whiteside used to do, is that right? Whiteside?
Yeah.
No, that's the tackle from K-State. Sorry. If you guys remember what he used to do in the Stanford office, Simi kind of got into that role. They're not the same player, but they did some of the same things.
He's way more athletic than JJ is.
Yeah. Quite a bit. Okay, so that brings us back to 186. We are on the clock. Ellerson's still here. We're starting to get into those developmental corners and edges and the deeper part of the wide receiver group. Now, these are all guys that are going to have to play special teams, but I think a lot of them can at this point. Cade Johnson's a guy that I just like. I thought his Senior Bowl was great. He's not the greatest athlete, but he's wiry, and I like the way he moves.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not a fan of a lot of these guys down here. I've watched most of them, and they just seem to be guys that are going to play special teams. I don't see much upside outside of maybe how is he down here? Josh Palmer.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Is he available in the 6th round?
I don't know.
Josh Palmer is going on day 2 or 4th round, I think.
Well, he's going to us here.
I'm about to say I'll take him here. Why is he in the 6th round?
I don't know. He got behind Sertan. He got behind. I mean, he had some big
He's
plays.
Crafty.
Yeah, he is.
That's incredible. This is backloaded wide receiver draft for us.
Hey, I'm okay with that. We're coming away with a couple of them. I think we still have another pick.
Almost like a third-round pick.
It's crazy. He is okay. Avery said he is truly 6'4".
Man, that's a big dude.
Yeah, I gotta check my measurements on my calculations because if I missed that, I should have remembered that. Is my point. Yeah, 6'0", he came in official.
Wow.
So yeah, that dude has some size. Day, thank you very much. Have you paid attention to any of the mock drafts from analysts? If so, what are your thoughts? Like I went over Chad Reuters. He's the one who had the Chiefs trading up with the Jags. I think that's a viable idea. I don't know if the value is going to be there. Obviously, I checked out Peter Schrager's. Schrag does a good job, and he knows the Chiefs organization pretty well. He's got multiple sources. He's the one who took Terence Marshall this morning. Really like that. I like what Schrags does pretty much all the time. I had him on the podcast a couple of times. And I will say this about Peter Schrager. He's the same dude in a phone call as he is on the show, you guys. He's a solid dude. So this is what we ended up getting. Cosme with Quinn to go inside. Tommy Tremble to knock some snot out of some wham blocks. Jordan Smith to come off when Mike Dana needs a little bit more dedicated relief for pass rush. I really like the idea of putting Dana inside a little bit as well.
Well, that's why Michigan did it in his time there, is because he can, and he can actually be productive down there too. So I think they'll end up doing that a little bit more this year. And
then we went speed guys. Secondary and wideouts, and you got some size, you got some craftiness, you got some all-out speed in Rochelle, and you got a guy that I think is only underrated. Honestly, here's another comparison to Legarius Need. Derek Forrest is nearly as good on film when he gets challenged as Wiggins is, but Wiggins is the better overall player and the better athlete, I think, by some, and so he gets overshadowed quite a bit.
That's how it works, man. Especially when you're coming out of the same draft class. If one's just a little bit better player than you are, they typically talk about them more, and you end up falling down draft boards and teams get a steal.
Fair enough. Day, thank you very much. Appreciate the super chat. You. Danilo's out on Fojoko, says he plays like Jane. I've heard that before. All right. What's that?
So maybe this one will work out.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, but hey, Avery, you have a good point. I would take Cade as a UDFA any time. And thank you, Doug. We appreciate that. We are closing in on 18K. Keep telling your friends. We're going to keep on growing and keep doing this stuff as we do. We appreciate you guys spending your time. Thanks for all the subs and everything you've done tonight. All the super chatters, much appreciate it. Members, you have a new video up from the other day. If you haven't caught on that, you just got to go into the member slide thing, playlist. And Dan, thanks for taking the time tonight. I know it was a little bit earlier than normal, so
that's okay. It actually worked out really well, and I'm glad I finally get on one of these for you guys.
Right. And we'll try to keep doing this, you guys, and maybe Dan will be able to make it again. We'll just keep it rolling. Danilo will be back as well. These are fun, and they're a good time. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll have something new for you tomorrow from Danilo. Thanks for watching tonight. We'll